Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru, and today I'm going to talk about Little Monsters, which, for those of you who don't know, is a Australian horror comedy about a kindergarten class trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. And if you're not sold based on that premise alone, it also happens to be Lupita Nyong'o's second horror movie of the year. And if you're anything like me and you love yourself a Lupita Nyong'o performance, then you should be 100% on board with this movie the moment you hear about it. Because I know I certainly have been excited to see it all year, and despite the fact that it's been on Hulu for like half of this year, I've been so busy I've been forgetting to watch it. And thankfully I finally got a chance to recently, so here are my thoughts. Let's just cut right to the chase. I love the fuck out of this movie. It is a perfect horror comedy that delivers exactly what the premise promises and more, and has characters that 100% endear themselves to you, even the ones that you're immediately, inclined to not like. For example, the main character, who is not Lupita Nyong'o, is kind of this, overgrown man-child who obviously needs to grow up, but has been kind of, coasting through his life ever since, his band broke up, much to the dismay of his girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend as the movie starts, and his sister, who is the one who raised him because, as it turns out, he had a really shitty family growing up, an absentee father, and a mother who may or may not have been psych ward crazy. So yeah, he's got a lot of problems, and he's a complete and utter asshole at the beginning of this movie, so at first you're kind of like, I'm not sure if I like this guy. But he is funny in, an asshole way, like the way Bill Murray is kind of funny in, old 80s comedies, even though he usually plays an asshole. So while that helps, the character's childish behavior at the beginning of this movie makes it really hard to like him initially. But as the movie goes on and you watch him and the other characters grow, you grow to really like him, and you grow to like the man that he becomes by the end of it. Even if the overgrown man-child trope has been way overdone at this point, this movie does it pretty well. So yeah, I love the comedy in this movie, I love the characters in this movie, I love the zombie gore in this movie, and good God, does it get pretty fucking gory? Also, let me get this out of the way right away. This movie has a lot of animal death. The zombies in this movie don't just eat people. So, if watching farm animals getting slaughtered by zombies is not your idea of a good time, then you might want to be careful going into this movie, because that's a thing that happens. A lot. But of course, the person who steals the show the entire movie is Lupita Nyong'o, who kicks all sorts of ass as this kindergarten teacher who has to fight off zombies to save these kindergartners, while also maintaining her, school teacher-like demeanor. And it's just so much fun watching her try to keep the kids calm by, playing Taylor Swift songs on a ukulele, or by, using nursery rhymes to, get the kids in line so that they're not misbehaving, and, doing all that while also picking up shovels and decapitating zombies, and also trying not to swear while doing it because, there's kids present. It's all just so much goddamn fun, and I can't recommend it enough. It's kind of like if you were to cross School of Rock with, Cooties, except in this one, the kids aren't the zombies, they're the ones trying to survive the zombies. It's like the inverse of Cooties. In fact, a friend of mine, while we're watching the movie, mentioned that those two would make a great double feature, and I 100% agree. That's actually a really good litmus test. If you liked the movie Cooties, then you will 100% like this movie. Let's see, do I have any criticisms to give of this movie? Not really. The only thing that really, tinged a little bit of my, I don't know about that, is that, at the beginning of the movie, one of the themes that the main character is struggling with is whether or not he wants kids. And at the beginning of the movie, it's very obvious that he shouldn't ever have fucking kids. He is not good with them. He is too much of a man-child. He is not good with responsibility. But you have all these characters that are, trying to, pressure him into, having kids. It's this thing that he should socially do because that's what you do when you grow up. And I'm not sure how I feel about that messaging part of the movie, but by the end of the movie, you kind of get the impression that he did want to have kids. He just was worried he would be a bad parent, and he was right at the time. But by the end of the movie, he's gotten a lot better at dealing with kids. So you believe he's in a place now where if he were to choose to do that, it would be an okay decision now, whereas before it wasn't. So I was kind of okay with it as the movie went on. I'm always really iffy about plots about characters that categorically don't want kids, but people are like forcing it upon them, like it's your societal duty to have kids. And thankfully, this movie didn't go all the way with that. It actually was a little bit more nuanced and a little bit more about the character themselves and what they were going through than the societal pressure. So I think this movie handled that well in the end. So yeah, besides that, I really don't have anything else to criticize. I think this movie is perfectly the movie it set out to be from start to finish. Oh shit, I just realized I forgot to mention one of the best parts of this movie besides Lupita Nyong'o. So, I didn't know going into this movie, but it turns out Josh Gad, aka Olaf from Frozen, is in this movie as like a children's entertainment host, like a Blue's Clues kind of scenario. And he is fucking glorious in this movie because if you ever wanted to see Olaf swearing like a goddamn sailor in front of a bunch of fucking kids, then this is the goddamn motherfucking pissin' cuntin' movie for you. And with that, I established that this video is not in fact for kids, so I hope the FTC and YouTube are listening. Anyway, my fellow gorehounds, I love the fuck out of this movie and 100% recommend it. It's currently available on Hulu as a Hulu original movie. Though, really, it was a movie they picked up from festivals because I remember hearing about it way before Hulu when it was on its festival run, and everyone was praising the fuck out of it, which is why I was so initially excited. But it's available on Hulu now, and I'll include an Amazon affiliate link if there is one to like a Blu-ray or something, and if you click that link and buy or rent the movie with that link, I will get a kickback from it. But if there isn't like a Blu-ray or something, then I won't include a link, and that's that. And with all that said, my fellow gorehounds, let us finally move on to the spoilers. Honestly, there isn't too much I can spoil for you for this movie. It's a zombie apocalypse story, so you kind of know the scenario. You have characters in a place when the zombie apocalypse breaks out. They hold up for a while and then have to fight their way out and find a way away from the zombies, and that's basically your basic plot of the movie. Though it's not necessarily the story. The story is about a guy, learning to grow up and learning to handle kids, and also, falling in love with this kindergarten teacher, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and kind of learning to love and deal with kids through his connection with her, and the two of them helping these kids survive. So there's a little bit more than that. But at the end of the day, most zombie movies have the same, plot threads, hey, we're trapped here, let's get this vehicle and drive over there, but someone's got to distract the zombies, yada, yada, yada. It just so happens that this movie does all of that really well. There is a lot of little touches that I really love about this movie, like how the American military, that's the cause of the zombie outbreak, basically their experiments escape and zombies get everywhere. They are, obviously equipped to deal with this situation because they've dealt with it before. There's this great throwaway line in which these American servicemen are standing around like, oh, great, what are we dealing with now? And someone's like, oh, yeah, it's zombies again. Establishing that this has happened before, these outbreaks. Who knows if that was supposed to be an allusion to other zombie movies or not, but I really liked that. And another character goes oh, zombies again? All right, are they fast or slow zombies? Establishing that there's also fast zombies in this universe. And it's a real small detail, but I really like jokes like that are these little fan service moments for us horror fans who are watching the movie and have seen every zombie movie, but maybe not seen a conversation like that. So that was pretty cool. I guess some of the other spoiler things that I really liked about this movie and would like to highlight is, so Josh Gad's character is one of those Blue's Clues kind of host, kind of children's entertainment, edutainment actors. And so naturally, he brings with him everywhere he goes a van filled with computer equipment and his PAs. And for those of you who don't know, a PA is a production assistant. So there you go. And there's this one PA in particular who is also the puppeteer of this frog puppet, the frog essentially being Blue in Blue's Clues. And when that PA becomes a zombie, it's not like he's the zombie. It's almost as if the puppet becomes the zombie. And so the puppet starts coming at them to the point when they actually defeat that puppet zombie. It's shot in the head. The puppet is shot in the head, not the zombie in the head. And I just thought that's so dumb, but hilarious. And every time, like, the puppet would, like, do, like, a dramatic turnaround, I lost it. It was hilarious. That's the problem with a movie like this. If I start talking about spoilers, I'm just going to be repeating funny jokes out of context, which probably won't sound as funny coming from me and not coming from the original source. So I apologize for that. The thing about this movie, though, is that it's so perfectly constructed. And so, like, all the little minor details all kind of coalesce together to make a complete whole. A great example of this being that the main character is a guitarist. He used to be in a band a long time ago, and he's still kind of like trying to live off of that glory, but it was not really glory. It was like a minor glory. And so he wants to be with Lupita Nyong'o since his girlfriend left him and found someone else. And the character Lupita Nyong'o is playing is named Miss Caroline, who, it turns out later, reveals that she's a big Neil Diamond fan. And because throughout the movie, in order to calm the kids, she constantly plays this ukulele and plays like children's nursery rhymes or like Taylor Swift songs and stuff like that. We established that on this kindergarten trip, she has her ukulele with her. So later on in the movie, when the main character has kind of gone through a lot of the evolution and become a much better person and a much stronger person and has become determined to save these kids alongside Lupita, there's a point in which, to calm the kids, he picks up the ukulele and starts singing Miss Caroline. Well, technically the song is called Sweet Caroline, but he changes it to Miss Caroline because she's Miss Caroline. So you have him playing the ukulele with the kids going all like, Miss Caroline, ba-ba-ba-ba. And it's just like, that's a moment that was so earned by all the good writing that led up to it. All these little details they thread throughout the movie, they all coalesce into that moment. And it's also an emotionally impactful moment because it's a moment in which the character has established how far he's come. And I think this movie does that really well. Like, is it like the most groundbreaking, most amazing experimental movie ever made? No, but it's a perfectly constructed movie that does everything right. And that's why I think you should all go see it and come back here and leave a comment telling me what you thought. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, I've run out of things to say about the movie, so as per usual, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you're feeling especially generous and want to check out my Patreon page, remember that even $1 a month can go a long way. And with all that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I've got some more vlogs to put together, some more blood splattered cinema to put together, so I'm a peace out, but I'll catch y'all later.